Hello, welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 252. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
And I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. And every time you introduce us and you say, this is the Knit Girls, I want to interject and say, no, knit more. No. Oh, no, that's not my show. Because that's what I hear. I hear
It's really not
it
your
is
show.
not. No.
But it's a show with fabulous people who are not us.
That is true. Knit More Girls is an audio podcast and multi-generational with a mother and a daughter. And they've been going for a long time, like 7 years, I think.
Why you gotta call them old?
Oh, please. They are aged like a fine wine. It is Monday, May 18th, 2015. And we're recording a day late because I didn't feel like recording yesterday. And Laura had her mom over helping her
Clean my entire garage.
yeah, put Dewey Decimal stickers on all her books. I expect that of your books, but you have enough to qualify for a library. But
I do. Anytime my mom goes north, I'm like, there's an IKEA in the north. You should stop. This time it was in Pittsburgh. And you should buy me bookcases. So I got 4 new bookcases. I asked for 3, but I got 4. And I probably needed 7.
yeah, I was gonna say.
They're double stacked still. But I am weeding up I was a classroom teacher for 3 years before I became a librarian. And I'm weeding slowly but surely. This breaks my heart, weeding up my classroom library and getting rid of things that don't interest me and I don't think would interest the nieces, and moving on with life. I figure by the time if I go back to the classroom, those books will be so old that there's classics. It's so funny because I was boxing stuff up and I was like, why do I have 8 copies of A Wrinkle in Time? You can never have too many.
I was gonna say, I thought that was your favorite book.
It is. You can never have too many copies. So, it's hilarious. Anyway, this is a knitting podcast most of the time. Some of the time it's not. Do you want me to go first, or would
Sure.
you like to
Why don't you go ahead?
Okay. I feel like I can't hear myself, which means I'm probably talking super loud.
I
Or
can hear
not
you
at
just
all.
fine.
Okay.
But, that may change in 5 minutes, or wind blows hard, or,
There you go.
who knows.
I am working on... Let me scooch back. There we go. Ah, that hem is flipping, and if it's flipping now, it better not flip later. That's all I have to say about that. That's worrying me. Anyways, I'm knitting on La Hero Petite by Julia
Farwell Clay.
Clay.
Mm-hmm.
And I just... Look, it's got a little yoke. I just started the yoke. So there are sleeves, and it's got this cool color work pattern. And then the yoke, once I get 6 rows, I think, knit, will also start getting cool color work. So it'll have the pink, and then the green, and then a purple. And this is for Julia Grace for her birthday, which is the 27th. And I have a week. No, I have till Friday to get it done. And then I'm going to mail it Saturday morning. I haven't gotten buttons yet.
So we won't see it again?
No, you won't see it finished. I'll have to put pictures. There'll be pictures on Instagram. There'll be a project page because I'm turning in for Harry Potter House Cup. And because I'll be finishing probably on Friday because I'm kind of getting down to the last minute, it will probably count for Stash Dash. So, I can show you the colors. 'Cause look, I have my swatch. So there's that pink, the green, and the purple. So it won't, I want it to get, it's weird because I probably could mail it out Monday if there was mail in the U.S. on Monday.
Oh, it's Memorial Day. You're right. Yeah.
So that's messing me up. And I don't want it to really be late because that's not fun. It's a birthday.
Kids are very particular about that stuff.
I'm particular about that stuff. Just messing with you. Not even a little. I celebrate a whole month, so how could you be late?
This is true.
So I have used an entire 2 balls of this stuff. And this is, I have a, wee little ball, probably about this size, left of the pink that was attached to the sleeves. So I have this much pink left, almost a full green, and a full purple. So, I'm up over 600 yards I'm right about 600 yards right now. So, we'll see. what it ends up being. I'd like it to be 1,000 meters for Stash Dash, but I don't think that's gonna happen. That would get my whole first week. Boom, an explosion. And we'll talk more about Stash Dash later. Other things on my needles. I just knit a stitch on this, so it totally
It
counts.
totally counts. I saw you knit it.
This is the 2-color beanie out of Cleckheaton Australian Superfine Merino. It has been on the needles entirely too long, and it could go off, but now I'm saving it for Stash Dash. It's got that cool gray at the bottom, then the mustard, and I need to decide how I want to do the decreases, because I'm not certain I care for them as written. And then it gets a big pom-pom at the top. So, that's exciting. What other things do I have? Oh, I have something new.
Your stripy socks?
No, I don't have. Well, I do have stripy socks, but they're in my purse. I'll show them to you when they're a little further along. I have a little wee Milo that I'm knitting.
Oh, Milos are so cute.
So it is out of Neely's Yarns. Neely's Knits is her real name, and she sent this to me a while back, and it is her DK base, which is gorgeous. I totally thought it had cashmere in it. It doesn't, but it feels like it does. That's how awesome it is. And it is in the Anna colorway. And it is super cute. I'm ready to start the cables, but I haven't decided which cables to do yet. So I think I might do the big heart ones. There's this big heart option. I think I might do those. This is a baby shower gift, kind of baby. This is a baby gift for one of my.
It would be for you.
Oh, it fits so well. That would be Gage gone terribly wrong. It is Milo and May on the Tiki Knits group, and I knew I wanted to do a Milo anyways, but one of my former library workers, this is how old I am, just had a baby. So, and her mom is has taught with my mom for forever, and I'm close with the family. Her little brother will have me next year, so I am knitting her a little baby vest.
Super cute.
That is going to her. And now I want to knit like all the baby things.
Oh,
so,
the fancy pants. Did you see that sweater that she put on Instagram
Oh
this weekend?
my gosh.
It's a little girl sweater, but it's cut like a shrug.
Oh, it's like enchants.
Enchant. Yeah.
Something like that. We'll have to link it in the show notes. I'll see if I can find it. And also Paula of the Knitting Pipeline is going to have a grandbaby. And she's knitting the cutest things.
That's awesome.
So many cute things for little girls.
That will be a very spoiled grandbaby in the best sense of the word.
It's her first grandbaby, so it's so awesome. And congratulations, Paula.
Yes, congratulations.
And her family. I forgot to tell you that. See, that's super fun. And that is all. I do have a pair of stripy socks on the needles, but they're in my purse, which is in my bedroom. And they're not very far, so I'll wait and save them for later. I think I'm going to do a fish lips kiss heel on them because I'm teaching a class at Vicksburg on toe-up socks, and I have like 4 different heel options that I'm going to show people for toe-up socks. So anyway, that is it for me. Hero Petite Cascade 220, size 6 needles. The Milo is Neely's Knits on size 5, and the Cleckheaton, I have no idea, 4, so I think. So, lots of mid-range needles. Not too exciting. Well, I think the Milo is very exciting. I had to like force myself to put it down to work on Julia's sweater, which Julia's sweater is exciting too. It's gonna be super exciting when I get to that color work done flat.
Well, you did it for the bottom already.
No, there's no color work on the bottom of this one. It's just seed stitch.
Oh.
Which keeps flipping.
Wait,
okay,
but
so
no,
it's like
I'm touching the screen like you can. Yeah, that's color work, right?
Yeah, but that's
but that's in the round. Okay.
So I did it on the swatch, and you can see on the swatch, like, so when I try to continental purl, I don't do an awesome job, but it's like a little, I kind of like it, those little blips, but I'll fix it for the rest of them. Not for the swatch. I was like, swatch, why would I fix you? But for the real sweater, I will do it correctly.
Well, I cast on a Ricky hat, but I don't have it with me. It's upstairs. I was knitting on it this week.
Ricky hats drive me crazy because they're garter stitch in the round.
Well,
the person's knitting on a
it's
Milo.
written flat, and then you.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure. Oh, you're right. It is garter stitch in the round where you knit and then you purl and then you knit and you purl. I'm doing it in the round, but I'm doing the Amy Beth slash Paula of Knitting Pipeline's cheater way, where you basically wrap and turn once you get to the end, so you're
Oh,
always
yeah.
knitting.
There you go.
It's the first time I've done it, and it's looking a little lumpy at the join, but I'm thinking it'll block. It's not terribly noticeable, but
I do hate those lumpy joins.
so
Title.
lumpy joins. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
So there's that. There is, I haven't knit a ton this week. I've been washing fleece mostly and reading. I got sucked into a really good book and it was like 800 pages long, so I didn't get a ton of knitting done. I am knitting, I'm sort of in the middle of a row here, so it's not the greatest place to show you. This is the custom fit sweater for
Yeah.
me out of
Look, your
Madeline
hem's popping up too. That makes me feel a little
Yeah, it'll be better once it's been washed and it can lay flat. Um, it is a garter stitch, not seed stitch, but I finished all the decreases and started the increases. I just did my last row of increases and then I have to measure it once I get to the end of the row. And basically I have to go until it's 19 inches, so I got a while. But I just sort of picked this back up yesterday and started working on it.
And you're alternating
I'm
schemes.
alternating skeins every two rows. It is living. Both of my projects that I'm working on are living in the awesome granny bag because it's
Aw.
enormous. There's still
Yeah,
space. It's huge.
that's what the hero is living in. But I just grabbed it and left every.
Yeah.
It's really living in my recliner. The yarn hangs out in the bag.
So yeah, I've got two skeins and I'm alternating every other row in the interest of keeping the pooling to a minimum. And the other thing that I'm knitting, oh crap, some stuff just fell, are the bootstrap socks out of
Yeah,
Sock Architecture by Laura Neal. And I'm knitting it out of this sock blank that looks sort of like a galaxy, kind of.
very pretty.
And it is knitting in color. It's her sparkle sock.
He, I think, just put up some sock.
She
links.
did yesterday, both sparkle and non-sparkle.
Oh,
I
did
looked.
you buy more?
No, I'm going to get some at SSK. I'm going to get at least one more at SSK. And I'm going to get one from Gail, too, because I really like how when she adds the stencils, it adds dimension into it.
Yeah,
I dig
agree
that a
with
lot.
That's very cool.
So I think last week I had just turned the heel, and now I'm not very much further. I've knit a little bit on the foot, so it started to introduce that lighter blue color.
Oh, look at that.
Still not a ton of progress, but this is the, I don't remember what the heel, Galbrigian heel or something.
Brickian.
Yeah.
That's what I used for Matt Gessler socks.
So basically it's you knit the flap downward and then you knit it down to a certain number and you fold it in half and join it
You
together.
Kitchener. Yeah, and then you pick up on the sides. I'm really digging it. And it supposedly fits a lot of different types of feet.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, I haven't even tried it on since
I want to knit a pair for me. That'll happen. I'd like to do at least like on my socks this summer, I'd like to do at least 3 different heels besides my Afterthought or Wendy's Toe Up with Gusset, because those are my 2 favorite.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to broaden.
Explore the horizons of
Because
socks.
there's plenty out there. These I have decided are not actually for me. They'll be for a friend of mine. But,
When was the last time you knit socks for you?
I don't know, a few months.
Hmm, that's nice.
I mean, I don't have a ton. I have probably 2 dozen, and that's enough for me. I'm not gonna never knit them for me again, but I don't feel.
See, mine are getting to the point where they're getting very worn looking. Most of mine, because so I need to update my sock drawer, do some Operation Sock Drawer knitting.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've gotten to the point where I almost always have socks on the needles. Sometimes I don't know who, like those fishnet rainbow ones. I still haven't decided who those are for. So
Those are super cute, though.
I just have to put heels in them. Anyway, so that's all the knitting I have. I have some spinning related stuff to show, but that can go after you show your FO.
Yes. I'm not. So this is the first time I'm back on the Julia Gray sweater. that I, instead of using just yarn stitch holders for the underarms, I put them on the hard.
Yeah.
They're getting in my way. That might have to change. Um, but anyway, so finished objects. I finished the Alice Elizabeth shawl.
And this
Out.
is the larger version, right?
Yep. And this will be included whenever we release the pattern, probably at the end of this month. Probably, let's say, I'm going to say after Vicksburg, like June 2nd-ish. So, this is...
Oh, it came out really nice.
It is around 22 inches deep and 66 inches wide. And this actually did go into the third skein for like the last 3 rows. So I need to look and see actually how much yardage I used. I'm thinking it's around 500 yards would do it of a DK weight. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
So this will be sent to, oh, excuse me. So this will be sent to the Loopy U. If you're in the Loopy U area, Fort Collins area, you should go check it out. If you, and you want to see it, you should go check out their store anyways because they're awesome.
This is true.
But
and also, if you wanted to get into the class that Laura's teaching, it is filling up, so you'll want to give them a call and register for the class. It's Thursday.
It's full, I think. So yeah.
It's let's see, Thursday, June 18th.
Yep, and that's
right?
an attached edgings class
Yeah.
for shawls. So cool. But yep, that'll be on its way probably later this week. I want to photograph it before I send it. But that's about it for me for finished objects. I'm not really delaying much for Stash Dash. I'm probably gonna have around 2,000 yards of whips for Stash Dash. So, including this big sweater that's in my lap making me hot now. But
I just totally thought of a new rule for Stash Dash.
What's your new rule that you want to make for Stash Dash for next year?
Can my surrogate knitters knitting count?
Nope. Your surrogate knitter can count her knitting on your projects for her.
But it's for me, really, so I think
And
you
if you
should
like-
change your event to make my rules work.
I don't think so. We'll talk more about Stash Dash a little while later. Like how I deflected that. Alright, so I've done no spinning whatsoever.
I haven't done any spinning, but I have done some fiber-related processing. So this time, so Laura and I got 3 fleeces at Maryland Sheep and Wool. We got a BFL, we got a Merino Cordell Cross, which is the finest fleece I think either of us has ever bought, and
Is it a fine fleece lesson?
shut your face. And a
BFL.
Coopworth. I already said BFL.
Okay. Keep
Listen when I talk, woman. So this time,
too caught up on the word fine.
I have washed one batch, and by batch I mean probably 10 ounces, maybe a little bit
So
more.
let's walk through how you wash your fleece.
Okay.
Because it tastes
And I'm
very
actually
much-
thinking of doing a very short video on each little step and then
That'd be cool.
smushing it together. So I don't follow your standard rules because ain't nobody got time for that. Basically, what I do when I am washing fleece, and it depends on how filthy it is. The BFL we got, filthy. Filthy.
Okay, so let's discuss. Because I feel like this might be your first uncoated fleece.
It might be. I thought one of the ones I got from Rhinebeck was, but the other one, the Coopworth is uncoated, and it's not nearly. It's full of grass. The BFL is full of grass, and it drives me crazy.
Here might be part of the problem. Is I split that fleece on.
Did you keep the good part? I'm gonna.
No, I split that fleece. I split it right down the middle, so you got half the head to half the butt. But I split it on Jane's lawn.
So you added VM to it.
I didn't have to. It was like freaking 6 o'clock in the morning Sunday. We had to split it before I flew back.
I could have mailed it to you.
Let me go get a drop cloth from the store that I would have to walk to.
So it is very dirty, but
That might be partially my fault.
the way that I tend to do it is I take it straight from when you buy a fleece, it's usually in a clear bag, and I fill
Like
up.
a plastic bag of some kind.
Yes, I fill up these plastic containers, clear plastic containers. I think they're like 18 quart or something. You can get them at Target or Walmart or whatever. I fill them up with the hottest water that I can get from the tap. I usually do 3 or 4 buckets at a time.
It's your instant hot water
I do
heater.
have my instant hot water heater, my instant water heater. If I said hot water heater, Michael would come all the way down here and smack me. Um, but it's like almost boiling hot, and I don't want it that hot. When with Power Scour, which is the detergent that I use, you don't need it that hot. So I just get it straight from the tap, as hot as it'll go.
Depends on how much lanolin the fleece has. For finer fleeces that are more lanolin-y, like merino and CVM and Cormo, you might need hotter water than you would for like a Romney or a Cooper.
This is true. It definitely varies by fleece, and sometimes even the different part of the same fleece. It can vary. So I fill up the buckets about 3/4 full, depending on how dirty the fleece is. I put either 3 pumps or 4 pumps of Power Scour into the water, and then I just grab a handful of the fiber. If I put it on a scale, it would probably be somewhere in like 2 to 3 ounce range.
Uh-huh.
And then I gently submerge it into the water, just straight. I just pull it straight from the
You
bag.
don't put it in
Nope,
lingerie bags?
I do not.
I do.
I pull it, yeah, and most people do. And most people go through and like follow the rules, and they pull out a section and they kind of fluff it a little
I
bit,
did
and
that
they
too.
do head to tip and make sure everything lines up, and that's totally fine if that's what you want to do.
If you are combing your fiber, you really do need to do
Yeah,
that.
I have no aspirations for that.
So, but for longer staple lengths, you might need to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
If it's
If it's
too
gonna,
long, it'll wrap around your drum
this is
carter.
very true. I don't want. I'm really happy with the medium-ish fleeces that I've been getting, where they're between like 3 inches and 5 inches staple length. But anyway, so I put the 2 or 3 ounces worth of wool in the water with the Power Scour and leave it in there for about 30 minutes. I gently submerge it, leave it in there for about 30 minutes, and when it comes time to change out the water,
Uh-huh.
I do all this around my sink so that my sink can be the central thing. And then I have this little strainer that I put in the uh, the hole, the where the water drains, the drainage thing.
So, hold on, because I might have been preoccupied thinking about something else.
So I wasn't
Okay.
listening, but let me backtrack.
Because it's all about me. So, how do you change the water if you don't have it in lingerie bags?
So I'm getting there.
Okay.
So the sink is empty. I've got 2 or 3 different containers full of dirty water and dirty fleece. So I have a strainer like you would use for pasta,
Yeah.
and I have rubber gloves, like kind of the blue rubber gloves
The
you can get
thicker
anywhere.
ones
Yes,
that
not just like the kind that medical personnel use, like thick that you would clean your oven with. And I have a set just
people clean their ovens.
apparently. That's what I
What?
hear. And I gently
that
just kind of scoop it all gently out and put it into the container and gently press the water out, and then move it, empty out the dirty water through the strainer, because if not, you will destroy your garbage disposal. Ask me how I know. And
Because you had fiber wrap in your.
Michael was like, let's not do that anymore.
I did that too. That
So,
was from washing socks, and I had like peeled off the little felt
oh, really?
socks.
Well, we have a little strainer that actually fits right in the hole in the sink,
Yeah,
so
you do.
so that works.
That takes effort to move that.
So then I refill I empty the thing out. I refill it with the same hottest water. If it requires another wash versus rinse, which they almost always do, require
two
at least
washes,
2.
typically.
Yeah. I almost always use less soap in the second round because usually I don't need as much. So usually it's 2 pumps in the second wash.
One pump in each.
Oh, I use way more in the first wash. You didn't hear that because you weren't listening.
Yeah, that's true. I think there's a ratio though on the bottle.
It is. It's like something, so many
I now
ounces.
know why you have gone through so much more power.
But you know
than I-
what? My fleeces are clean.
Whatever. My fleeces are dirty and in my garage.
So I do at least 2 washes, and then I do usually 2 rinses, sometimes 3, depends on. I do it until the water is clear at the end.
Uh-huh.
Usually that's 2, sometimes it's 3, because if I've over soaped it, which has happened, not often, but has happened, then it usually
Well,
needs
that happens.
3 to get all the soap out. And then after it's been washed and rinsed, then I built these really classy PVC and mesh
Yeah.
drying racks that sit outside on my porch that I can break down if I want, and just take the whole thing out there and gently spread it out. So it's still sort of in its sheared format because it's still kind of stuck together in some places. I
Yeah.
gently spread it out, and I let it dry. And then from there, I usually either pick it or just gently separate it and then card it. So that's where I was getting where I am now. So the coop worth, and this year I decided I would keep little bags with,
Oh, look at you.
when I bought it, a sample of the raw fleece, a sample of the wash fleece, and then I'm going to do little samples of spun
So,
because I didn't do it before and I wanted to. So this is the coop worth. This is a dirty lock. I just pulled it straight from the fleece. It's about 4 inches. It's got nice crimp, but the tips are dirty.
yep.
And it's greasy because it's got the lanolin, which is like sheep sweat.
It's like the grease that forms in your hair.
Yeah. And this is what it looks like washed. I didn't do anything special to it. I just pulled a lock of the washed out of
That's pretty.
the group. So this is the before and this is the after. But this is before I've done any sort of carding or combing or anything to it. This is just washed because I'm not done washing this fleece yet. But I did finish washing the Cordell Merino, that fine fleece that we bought.
Please.
That fine fleece.
It will forever be known as the fine fleece, man.
This
That
is what,
was also divided on the pavement, by the way,
yeah.
for the grass.
Well, it was much cleaner than the other one. Maybe you'd put it on top of the other one. I don't know, but
I might have done the BFL first.
and that picked up all the loose.
Yeah.
So this is what it looked like before. This is all dirt. That's why it looks darker, is it's actually the dirt, because these are the tips. This was the part that was on the outside of the sheep. This is what was against the skin.
And
So
this was coated.
This was a coated fleece, yes. But this is dirt. It is discolored a little bit. And again, for this one, I just grabbed a chunk out of the washed fleece. So this is what it looks like.
Oh.
So it is slightly darker. I don't know if that's stain from the dirt or what,
Oh.
but it is slightly darker at the tip.
That's interesting. That'll be pretty.
But it is very soft, and when I tried to run the washed fiber through the picker, it did way more damage than good.
No.
I had only done like a quarter of an
Should have
ounce.
told you that. I'm sorry.
You did, but I was stubborn, and so I was like, I'm going to see what it does. So I ruined about, a quarter of an ounce or something, but you learn.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, pickers really are meant for medium
Yeah.
to.
it was basically just creating pills, was all it was doing.
That's all it does.
So what I did instead was I took half of it, and I basically I would hold a clump of it in my hand, and I would just pulled strips out until they were lined up in sort of a parallel way. Definitely could flick it, but took longer than I wanted to do, so I didn't do it. But and then I decided I wanted to make a sample bat just because I wanted to see what it looked like. Batted up, and it's so pretty. It makes me so happy. Oh god,
That's great.
this is what it
I
looks
like
like.
the dimensions to it.
Batted up. It's very fluffy. It is folded in half actually because it came off like this. But it is absolutely beautiful, and I think it's going to spin really well. I'm really excited about it. So,
Does it have any like grease feel to it at all? Still?
no, it feels very soft and dry, and just makes me happy.
Yay.
So, and it's very airy. Carding will do that. So.
Yep, it adds air because it's creating a woolen prep.
Yes. And that's it for washed fiber. If you're interested in seeing a very basic how-to, and this is a how I do it, not a how to do it, I should clarify that, let me know, because if people bug me about it, then maybe I'll actually do it. Because I still have lots of fleece to wash. I expect to come home with Estes with at least one fleece.
That's the plan.
And,
What do you read?
yeah. And Jasmine is going to look for one at Black Sheep as well,
awesome.
so we'll
We're
see.
such spoiled.
We really, really are. So that's it for me for wool. It's very time consuming, so that's another reason I don't have, because like every 20 minutes you have to get up, and it takes 20 minutes to change out the water, and you have to do that 5 times for every batch. And anyway,
gotcha.
Talky talk.
Talky talk. Let's see what's up on the. Oh, we have a review. So we are reviewing. The lovely people over at Cooperative Press sent us their latest book in the Madame Defarge series, and it is Defarge Does Shakespeare. Hold on 1 second, I gotta bring it up. So it looks like, yeah,
Yes.
it retails for $29.95
If you get the paper copy.
Yes. And they sometimes run sales on their site, so I would go look at their site versus Amazon if you're interested in the paper copy. Cut out that middleman. And then $16.95 for a digital download. There are 29 patterns and essays in here, so really, if you like it's a good deal, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, and especially if you are interested in the Shakespearean lifestyle in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
It is almost like a story as well as patterns. Each pattern comes with at least one essay, and they talk about what characters inspired what patterns, and it is a meaty book. It's almost 300 pages.
It is, and it's it feels like that niche of literary lovers inspired knitwear. But also, I could see some of the stuff if you were a reenactor of some kind.
Yeah, I agree.
Doing this, or if you were in a play or something like that, or maybe making it work into your everyday lifestyle. There's some stuff that would be very easy.
I agree.
The very first pattern, which is the Lovers Tangled Socks by Becky Green. It's inspired by the Lovers in Midsummer Night's Dream, which is my favorite Shakespeare. And it uses storied yarns on size 2 needles, and it looks like that.
And it's got 4 different strands to represent the 4 different lovers and how they intertwine. And the book is a collaborative effort, so it's not, their patterns are written by over half a dozen different people.
The charts are very clear, and if you get the digital format, of course, you can make them bigger as well. There's another picture of the socks. So really, really pretty stuff.
I would love for someone to make me the Midsummer Evening Wrap.
It is really pretty.
It's 2,000 yards of fingering weight, and
that would be awesome for Stash Dash.
It would. And it's lace, and it would block out hugely, and it is absolutely beautiful.
It's almost like a blanket size.
The whole chart for that pattern is only 8 rows long.
And it uses Briar Rose Sea Pearl fingering, which is a merino tinsel, which would be gorgeous. It would give it nice drape. It does have a seed stitch border. I'm the anti-seed stitch.
I love the way it looks. I don't enjoy knitting it, but
yes. But nice clear charts again. And they do give like little levels.
Yes, for the difficulty.
So this one's a pretty easy pattern. I love that they go all the way up to like the guillotine.
Yeah.
It's the hardest. That cracks me up.
I like the Malvolio's Yellow Stockings by Chrissy Gardner. I guess Malvolio, I am not a Shakespeare buff by any means, but I guess he was a character who in the 12th Night was trying to get attention, and he crossed his sock garters or something. I'm not sure, because I'm not a buff of Shakespearean literature, but they are really cute knee-high socks. And I do like that they're
just
worn
like a little
with boots.
bit of pattern at the front and ribbing in the back, so they would stay up easily. I'd love to see because yellows. I'm so critical today. Yellow's not my color. I want to see them in a different color.
You could knit them and then you'd see them in a different color.
Good. And that. Oh, look at the cable detail on the
Yeah, I
back.
love how
That's
inside
really
of the cable is reverse stockinette. It's really pretty.
that's gorgeous.
I do like the next one too, which is by Meg Warren, The Very Soul of Wit.
Yes.
It uses a really simple knit and purl combination to make it look like a ribbon is sort of dancing through
It's
the...
really cool. I like the. It's hard to see, but yeah, it's got this little detail that moves throughout the sock, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's I
Very
love that it's a
subtle.
very simple way to do it, but it looks great. My tablet has decided that it rejects a 300-page book.
The Yellow Gartered Dude Abides
Yeah.
by Elizabeth Green Musselman, who's got her own fabulous podcast.
Dark Matter Knits.
I love those for color work socks.
And
Really
they're shown in 2 different color combinations, which I always appreciate because it gives you a different perspective on it.
a non-yellow colorway. But yeah,
Critical, Laura, is critical.
and it's got like they have the option for the tie at the top or just the ribbing at the top as well, which I like. Again, gorgeous charts, nice and big. I think she uses an afterthought heel in that is what it looks like.
And all the photos were by Caro Sheridan. She's part of the Cooperative Press crew.
I
And
love Viola stockings. I'm interrupting you. Continue. What were you
no,
going to
go
say?
ahead. I like those as well. I especially like the beaded picot at the top.
So pretty. And
And
those come in 2 different sizes. A medium and a large, so an 8 and a 10-inch circumference. I also like how they tell you the required skills. I find that useful. So that one requires knitting in the round, decreases provisional cast on, working simple cables and lace from chart or written directions, twisted stitches, slip stitches, knowledge of basic sock construction, picking up stitches, Kitchener stitch, grafting, placing beads on stitches using a crochet hook.
I like the Taming of the Shrug, which is the next pattern. It is a lace pattern, but it's entirely reversible. So one side shows a candle flame, I think, and the other side shows a leaf. And this is one of the versions. And she talks about knitting it, yeah, in 2 different gauges.
Yeah. And 2 different, very different yarns.
Yeah, one is Dragonfly Fibers Dejini, I think.
Which is awesome yarn.
Yes, I've used that before. I don't mean to drag, but my tablet is like, wait, I'm trying. Oh, and there's Elizabeth's lovely face.
Yep.
I see her face. We've also got the Lace Serenissima stole, which has a mesh pattern that was pulled from Barbara Walker's Treasury of Knitting. She talks about why she chose that and how it's special to her, and I keep forgetting that I need to put this up so y'all can actually see. And the model is super adorable as well, which can sell me on a pattern. I am very easily sold. And that is knit out of Mulberry Silk Merino DK.
I like the Sonnet 73 Gauntlets, which is knit out of our Humble Castle Swagger figurine, which I need to find now.
That is a lot of words.
There's a lot of yellow in this book. But it's inspired by a leaf motif, and it's really, really pretty. There's that central, there we go. There's it. There's green.
That's pretty as well. I don't mind the yellow. I don't know that I could wear it myself, but I don't mind seeing it on others.
Yeah. I think it's sometimes hard to see stitch details on a real bright yellow. Oh, that's my mom calling me on my iPad. I really need to turn off that feature.
I also think this is really interesting. The Unparalleled. It's a necklace that's knit with the Habu, the stainless.
Yeah.
Well, it's 120 silk stainless, and it is a really cool. It's reminiscent of Cleopatra, so it's got some sort of
See that? Yeah.
Greek-ish sort of inspiration in there.
Yeah, some Egyptian inspiration.
Yeah. And it's beaded as well, and it's a hairpin lace, I believe. Yeah, hairpin lace crochet. So, and actually, and I do like how they styled her as well. I think that really made it work.
I agree. There's Simple Comfort, which uses it has three different sizes. There's
Mm-hmm.
a quick comfort, a simplest comfort, and a striped comfort. And it uses knit pick stroll fingering, and it's a nice simple. I could definitely see doing that as like a chemo shawl or a prayer shawl or a quick hug type gift for someone who's going through a rough time.
And that's definitely one of the pieces that you could fit into your everyday wardrobe.
Oh
Not
yeah,
every piece in here is a niche piece.
that's true too. And then there's Mother's Comfort, which has this gorgeous motif that goes down the middle.
Yeah, I like that one as well.
The
Um,
leaf motif.
I sure wish my tablet would catch up.
Flip faster, tablets.
I know.
There's a sweater in here called Lady M, which is very, very cute. Let me get to it. I just saw it. Looks like that. It's got a cute picot bind off at the bottom, and then lace edging at the top, and picot also at the sleeves. It looks like it's knit in the round. It is knit in the round. It is sized from a 31 up to a 55 using Blue Moon Fiber Arts BFL Sport, so sport weight gauge. It's a top-down raglan, so it's very easy with that square neckline to make it work for you. I would have to bring in the neckline a little bit for me.
Yeah, I'm the
I would
same
just
way.
do a different size, like start with a smaller size and work my way out.
Yeah.
Just because I that doesn't fit my lifestyle as it is. It does also incorporate bust darts. So if you're looking to get into bust dart shaping, it might be a good way to get into. Ooh, and she's got a gorgeous tattoo on her back.
Yeah, she does.
And there's the back.
Random things that can sell us on patterns.
Well, it's just interesting. Let's see what else. There's also a couple sweaters in here. There's a cardigan that's got some lace detail, and a shawl collar. There's
There's some pretty reversible stockinette gloves.
oh, I like the Farrah's foul cowl. That's one of my favorite pieces in the whole thing.
Yeah, and there's a fair version and a foul version
Yeah,
as
so that's
well.
the fair version.
Mm-hmm.
And then the foul version is more of a mosaic piece.
Yeah, it's actually graded as easier than the lace one, which I thought was really interesting.
Hmm.
I actually liked the Ophelia's Scarf of Watery Death. It's knit with
Or Ophelia.
a mohair silk yarn,
Uh-huh.
and they describe it as ethereal or ephemeral. And I actually think that was really on point. I think it's a nice light piece that I could see actually wearing. And in the little flowers are knit as well and then added on. I think that's a clever way to do that.
It reminds me, anytime I hear Ophelia, it reminds me of Sassy Gay Friend.
I wonder what Sassy Gay Friend is up to nowadays.
It is, yeah, that's an interesting thought. He was doing like other ones that were not quite as good as the Shakespeare ones. There's also Ophelia's garden mittens.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Poor
which
Ophelia.
it uses. You can either do intarsia or duplicate stitch, and part of it is fair isle, so it really goes the gamut with color work.
For sure, the green is the Fair Isle section.
I
And
like
then
the
there's Lear socks.
yes, that was the one I was going to point. That's a Kate Atherley pattern. It's a very simple knit and purl pattern. You don't need any sort of advanced skills to
It
be
would be
able.
great for semi-solid or solid,
Mhm.
kettle dyed, maybe even. And that comes in several different sizes as well: small, medium, large, extra large, and 2X. Actually, so there are tons of sizing on that one, and it uses Indigo Dragonfly MCN sock. The largest size uses 2 skeins.
There are socks, there are mitts, there are scarves, but maybe my favorite is just for the title. Um, Extant Pursued by Bear. which I guess is based off of a line in one of Shakespeare's plays. It was Exit Pursued by Bear. And it's a little baby hoodie with little bears.
It's very cute.
And it goes all the way from newborn up to 12 months.
Yep.
And is knit with a worsted weight yarn and size 6 needles. So we did not show you maybe half the patterns in this book.
There's a lot of patterns
and
in
we
this book.
barely touched the surface of the essays.
And I love in the back it's got a pattern index that's linked by pattern type. So it's really, really easy to find what you're looking for.
Yes. If you have any interest in that period of literature, I would say this is definitely worth the $16 for the digital download. Everything is linkable, and you can click on everything in the book, and
it's book 3 in a series as well.
Yeah, so this was one that they both wanted, or they both wanted to get into immediately as soon as they started talking about doing the Defarge Collective, which I think is it's nice to see that they've hit that level with it, and that they're going to keep going.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So again, that was Defarge Does Shakespeare. You can get it from their site for $29.95, which would include the paper and digital copy, or you can get the digital copy directly for $16.95 via Ravelry.
Yep. We have a question from Indigo13, which asks, and thank you, Cooperative Press, for sending that our way. They are always so sweet at sending us books. Indigo13 asks, when you buy a hank of wool, is it a good idea to wind it into a cake? I love the little cake icon on Ravelry. Right away, or a while before you actually use it. I like to cake it as soon as I can, because then it's always ready to go when it tells me what it wants to be. However, I notice when I watch podcasts like yours, no one seems to do this. I've also heard that it can stretch the yarn. Should I or shouldn't I? I hope you can answer this question. That's been nagging me. I recently did some stash enhancing, and my winder is calling me.
Well, first, I'm going to send you my yarn to wind, because I hate winding. Even with a really great winder and a really great Swift, I still hate winding yarn.
I don't mind winding yarn at all. I would say that it does stretch the yarn to some degree, so you might want to wait a little bit before you use it.
That being said, if you have plans within the next couple of months, I would say go for it. But I wouldn't leave it for months or years at a time stretched. Because it can kind of kill the elasticity of that yarn. Because when you're winding it, you have tension on it. So you are holding it at tension. So when it's caked, it is constantly at tension. So, like Laura, I would avoid winding it until you're ready to use it, unless you just simply don't have access to a winder, or it's really cumbersome to do it yourself versus have the yarn shop do it. But I would be wary of doing it if you can avoid it until you're ready.
I would agree with that. I think that's about it. That's all we can say on that.
That was the quickest answer we've ever done for anything. But
there you go. We have the Three Waters Farm Scholarship, which, is the SSK Scholarship, but also which they're sponsoring. But also we are doing a spin-along, knit-along with them. Pre-orders for fiber have already started, and they're through the end of May. I need to order my fiber.
Yes.
And they've got a gorgeous polar silk that I just need to get.
Yes.
Orders will be shipped the first week of June, although I did see some have already shipped.
Yes,
so
she's shipping them. Right. She's shipping them on demand as she has them ready. So you may get them sooner, but the dates that we have are the no later than dates. Yep. So you can be prepared that you might get them sooner. Yarn may ship earlier, or it may ship all the way up until the middle of June, just because if we have to spin it and then knit it, it's going to take a little bit longer. So.
Yeah, and well, you won't get hand spun yarn, but the yarn that you're
that is
awesome sock yarn, and pre-orders go until June 15th, with orders shipping the first week of July. There's a separate thread that will start for FOs from either the yarn or the fiber, with all entries due by the end of August.
Yes,
which is Leslie's birthday month.
August is my birthday month. In fact, the casino that we are opening in North Carolina is going to open on my birthday. Yay! So exciting. So I'll get to work probably a swing and a grave shift on my birthday. I am the luckiest person I know.
That's awesome.
But yes, so Three Waters Farm is sort of helping us host our spin-along, knit-along. So if you're interested in joining, please do. We've got a thread on Ravelry that is sticky at the top of our group with all the details and the links to where you can buy and how much and how many yards and all that is there. So if you're interested, go out there and place your order before the end of May or before mid-June if you're doing yarn.
There you go. We have SSK spots that I'm going to let Leslie talk about. So in the SSK group, there will be a thread that will open, and Leslie can tell you more about that.
So as we get closer to SSK is our Laura and my event that we host in Nashville every July. This is our 4th year doing it, and as things happen in people's lives and they have to drop, we still want to be able to fill those spots because we still have a significant wait list of people who are interested in coming. So last week I emailed everyone that was on both of our wait lists and told them essentially what I'll tell you now, which is that on Friday, May 22nd, yes, Friday, May 22nd,
which is the day Stash Dash starts, I think.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
In fact, let me just pull up the thread and read it to you guys so that I don't forget anything or tell you the wrong thing, because I do both of those things frequently and I'd like to avoid that for something like this. So, in order to claim one of these spots, you have to already have your name on the wait list. So if you claim a spot and your name is not on that wait list, I cannot give it to you. Our waitlisters get first call at these first. If we still have open spots and we've gone through all the people who have asked to claim a spot from our wait list, then we will open it to the public, but that's more likely to happen the month of SSK. So just keep your eyes open on the SSK thread as well as on our podcast, because we'll talk about those as they come up. So on May 22nd at noon Eastern time, because that is where I am, is Eastern time.
Yep.
I will open a thread on Ravelry. The thread already exists. It is stickied and locked on the SSK board on Ravelry. I'll unlock the thread, and basically all you have to do to claim a spot is to reply to the post and say me or pick me, or I would advise not writing a dissertation because people might get ahead of you in line at that point.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna unlock.
I would say for your sake though, it would be helpful if no, because you'll know from the spreadsheet if their day pass or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're good.
Yeah.
So pick me works.
Yes, you can just say pick me. And in the interest of not making life too complicated, we do have some day pass and some on-site spots. We don't have many. We have less than 5 at this point, but I still expect probably 2 or 3 people after this will drop before SSK, because it happens. Things happen and people have to drop. And so even if you don't claim a spot, anybody that has already posted in that thread before I've locked it, because usually it's less than a minute before I have to lock it, before we're just too full already. So I'll continue to go through the people on that list before I offer it through to anyone, to the public. But in order to claim a spot, you just have to reply to my post and say, I want a spot, and I will reach out to you directly, you, the person who has claimed the spot, and say, hey, you claimed a spot. This is what's available. Tell me if that works for you. And the payment deadlines are rushed because we only have 2 months, essentially. Yeah, less than 2 months. Because today's the 18th, and SSK starts the 15th of July. So all the payment details and everything are on the thread in the Ravelry group, so you can check all that out. If you have any questions, please feel free to PM me, or there's a thread in the group for questions. Ask me anything you want, but ask it before the thread goes up, because there's not going to be time for questions at that point. Let's see, what else did I want to say about that?
I think the most important thing is to make sure that you are on that Ravelry thread posting.
That is true. You can't post on our website, TheKnitGirlls.com, to claim a spot. You can't post on the SSK group website. You have to post on the Ravelry thread. It is titled SSK 2015 Waitlist Update. That is what it is titled. In fact, I'll link it in the show notes, because you can't claim it any other way. If we had a spot for every single person, I would give them all to you. I wish that
I
there
wish
was.
we could.
But it's just not feasible at this point. So, any questions about that, please feel free to PM me about that, not Laura. And because Laura's got her own whole jumble of stuff that she's got to deal with. Payments and spots and all that, usually I'll handle that part of it. So, and I think that's it.
Speaking of my craziness, I am creating my spreadsheet for classes, and I have had around 95 people fill out their class forms. If you have not already filled out your class forms, if y'all could go ahead and do that for me, I would appreciate it, because once these spots get claimed and those people fill out their class forms, then I am going to get rosters up for classes. So I would like to get that done pretty soon.
And we will, I'll get a list from Laura on who she's already got and who she doesn't have, and I'll email you and still give you a week. But after that, if you haven't signed up for a class and we have open spots, we'll give them to people who have asked for a second class or a third class.
Or fourth class.
Yes.
We have 2 people who want 4 classes.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, if you get your money's worth out of it, I mean, that's wonderful.
Awesome.
So
that'll be fun. Other craziness in my life, Stash Dash is going on. It starts Friday. It will be that time of year again. It will start on midnight, like 12:01 Friday morning, May 22nd, and run through August 14th midnight of that night. Each different level will have its own finish line. I'm not going to open the finish lines until probably Saturday morning after I've had a couple cups of coffee.
I was going to say, you could probably wait to do finish line posts for like a month, because surely nobody's going to finish it on day one.
You are so funny. Anyway,
I would not trust anyone who finished a 5K on the first day.
No. But they can go in there and post their
claiming spot. Okay.
If you have any questions about Stash Dash, I would like for you first to read the first post in the Stash Dash rules and chatter thread,
which is frequently asked questions, right?
Yes, and the rules. And then, if you still have questions, and I'll have a sample FO post that I put up probably on Friday, because I'm hoping to finish the Julius sweater.
You should PM Laura and ask her to change the rules for your personal situation.
Works so well. I would also suggest, if you have a question, that you click, my name's Lala, and I have this sheep that looks very irritated, and it says, must spin all the sheep as my avatar. And in the thread, beside my 8 million posts thing, there's a little parentheses that's bold, and it tells you how many posts I have in that thread. If you click on that button, it will take you through all my posts on the thread, and your question might already be answered.
This is true.
Although you're welcome to post more questions, and someone will answer them. But if you do have a question for me, please hotlink me. That way I can make sure that I find it and respond to it. So that would be super helpful. Or reply to one of my other posts. And that would also be super helpful.
Just let her know that she's being asked a question, basically.
Yeah,
because that thread gets wieldy in a hurry.
It does. It's at, let's see. We're going to do a random number generator, too, because I want to gift some patterns. We are already at 408 posts, so I think we should give away 4 patterns. 5 patterns. Let's do 5.
Whatever you say, dear.
All right. Well, you get your random number generator.
Oh, yeah. I'm involved in this? All right.
You are involved in this process. It's like you're a co-host of a podcast.
Hush your face. All right, random.org.
So we're going to give away, 5 patterns up to a $7 value. They must be giftable on Ravelry.
Yes. And
then I had someone contact me who wants to give other patterns, and we'll do that next once we get over 500.
All right, so between 2 and 408, is that accurate?
Yep, just give me a list of numbers, and I'll go through and find them.
All right, 194, 98, 341, and 308.
That's 4.
Oh, you wanted 5. 153.
All right.
Bet you at least one of them is you.
If it is, we'll draw again. I'm going to make it big so I can't see you. So you can be doing all kinds of crazy things. I can't actually see you that wide. All right, so 98 is SGTGRIFFS girl. If you will, and that's her only
Sergeant Griff's.
It sounds like it. And she's just saving her place. So if you would PM me, Lala, I will get you a free pattern up to a $7 value, because really there's got to be some cap on there somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's see, and then 153 is the next one. Oh, it helps if I go to the correct page. It's not on page 6, it's on page 7. And that is Knit Tea.
Oh, Tammy.
So Tammy, send me a PM and I will get you a pattern. And then 194, which should be what, page 9?
The next.
No.
It should be the next page. Yeah.
I fail at numbers. 194 is Crafty Knitter 7.
Oh, cool. That's one of the. She's a podcaster.
Cool. And that's actually it's Sue. Yeah, it's from Two Tangled Games.
Okay, I was like, I know, I just can't remember.
Awesome. She was asking about a spreadsheet. You people with spreadsheets. So funny. I love you all. But that makes me giggle. I love how different people approach Stash Dash. There's like, I'll do whatever I want. And then there's people who have spreadsheets.
Yes. And those people like Lynn, who's going to do a 20K, I hear.
One per cat. Someone posted that and it made me giggle. And she actually laid out what she's going to knit on, what her on and stuff. And then Empty Knitster is 308, and she's got a dancing cat thing.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. And then what's the last one? 341.
Yeah, 340 something. I don't remember.
341 is farther down on the page than I anticipated. Knitting Bug.
Oh, cool.
So, and she was like super encouraging, Jen from New Hampshire. So that's awesome. If y'all would PM me, I will gift you some patterns. So that'll be fun. And we'll do that randomly as I feel like it. So that's how we roll.
Because this is Laura's show. She is the Empress. The Stash Dash Empress.
Oh my gosh. Did you see someone where is it? They put like this coffee cup it was that show that you've been watching, Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it? That dragon chick. What's her name?
Oh, the Mother of Dragons.
Yes, she's got this long name. And the woman was like, I feel like it was at the top of a page. It might not be at the top of a page. It might have been at the top of the page that day for me. Oh, it was so funny. It made me laugh so hard.
Khaleesi, they call her. Well, that's a title. What's her actual name? I can't remember.
But someone, like, it's a picture of her having it written on a Starbucks mug. It's like, finally, my coffee. Oh, there it is.
I'm going to have to look and put it here.
It's
by the magic of the internet.
It's post 285.
Okay, I'll write that down.
And she said, it's Cherry Makes. He makes me giggle all the time. And she says, am I the only person expecting that we'll get something like this by the end of this thread? Oh, Empress Lala, the undaunted ruler of the 10K dash, queen of the shock threes, avenger of sock heels, Killisay of the great loop bump, mother of the almighty stash, break your CPNs.
See, if that wasn't so long, I'd totally make it the title of the show. I could just make it the first letter of everyone, but then it would still be unbearable. So
it would be pretty long. What else do we have to talk about besides my crazy stash dash?
We have a giveaway for a Bags by Awesome Granny.
Huh.
I don't know. Oh, that's my Gusler design thing. That is not my Bags by Awesome Granny thing. So this is one of her medium-sized bags. This is the Hipster Foxes.
Medium-sized bags are still pretty darn big.
This could still fit probably a large shawl. Definitely
this is
a couple pairs of socks. Yeah.
So awesome.
And so this is Bags by Awesome Granny. It's Darlene. And she's got bow ties that coordinate with the Hipster Foxes, which I love.
Mine's got purple on the inside.
Yeah, she's really good at coordination of the fabrics. All right, so we need to pull a number to win, and it's between 2 and something.
Really?
That's real specific, right?
327.
2 and 327. All right, so the winner is going to be number 8.
Wow.
First page.
that. Just a few scrolls down, a click of a button. Get a hobby.
Get a hobby, get a bag.
From New Brighton, Minnesota. Um,
So
who
get a
says
hobby.
raccoons?
Oh
So
yeah, because she was picking
fun.
a fabric from the shop.
Yeah,
Yes.
what fabric or style she likes best.
Well, you may not like the foxes, but you
Foxes
get
and
the
raccoons,
foxes.
they're so
Well,
similar.
but she entered, so she must like it. So you're gonna get hipster foxes. Get a hobby. Just PM me. You don't call me less, and send me your address, and I'll get it shipped out to you sometime this week.
Rockstar. We are going to some events in the future. I will
Hmm.
be at Vicksburg, which is the Magnolia something festival. Um, Magnolia Fiber Festival.
I think
There
it's
we go.
Magnolia State or something. I don't know. I don't go, so.
I booked my hotel room, and Knit Whiskers is coming with me, and so is Gail and Eloise. So when we have hotel rooms in the same place, which I can't remember where, but I posted in the Magnolia group forum. So we will be hanging out there. I'm teaching 3 classes. I'm teaching my yarn composition class, the edgings shawl class, shawls with attached edgings, and then toe up sock class. So I'm super excited about that. Then after that, Leslie and I will be together.
Yep, at Estes
Shenanigans will
in
be happening,
Colorado.
which is the furthest west event that we've been to together.
Hmm.
I think that's the first. Yeah, I would say so. We will be at the Loopy U for their Thursday night knit night, and I will be teaching the shawls with attached edging class there, which is pretty quickly filling up. So you might want to get on that. And then the next day we will. Is it? Are we going up Friday or the next day?
For what?
Estes.
Oh, Estes is Saturday and Sunday. It's
Okay,
not Friday.
so not Friday. Friday we'll be going to all the yarn shops, and then and quilt stores for Leslie. And then
God, I need to take out a loan just to go to Estes.
I don't know how you're going to get all this stuff back. And then on Saturday and Sunday we will be going to Estes.
Yes.
So that will be super fun. We forgot to mention one of the cool things we did at Maryland was meet a bunch of y'all.
Yes.
So we got so focused on the oh my gosh, we're an hour and a half in.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta wrap this up. That we forgot to mention Saturday. One of the best parts of Saturday is there at 1:00 there was a meet and greet with all different podcasters, and I love that because it's podcasters saying hey to podcasters, but also there's a ton of people who watch podcasts who come, which is what it's really meant for. Although I go all fangirl on the Two Tangled Skeins girls like every year. And
I went a little fangirl on Shiloh this year. I think I scared her.
I think Shella does an audio podcast called Spin Control, which is fabulous if you're into the spinning and knitting. And she was on hiatus for a long time, so we hadn't seen her actually since
Camp Kip.
Yes, so it was great to see Shiloh. And then Minerva Turkey was there. There were tons of podcasters who are awesome. And then we got to see a whole bunch of y'all, which is always fun. And there's always people who come every year and say hi to us at Maryland, which is
and I'm terrible with names, but usually I can remember if I've met you before or not. Usually.
I always remember the one woman who talks about her granddaughter is more into knitting. She was at the end this year, and she's always so sweet, and I can never remember her name. But
I got a picture with a family.
Oh, they were so cute!
In fact, I'm going to show it now. I can't remember any of their names, but I can remember.
They're 2 teenage daughters who are big readers, and they challenged me to a readathon with them, which I think we should do on Goodreads, because that's a good place to do it.
Yes. Okay, so here's the picture.
And then the mom was so sweet.
Let's see if you know. That's not any better. And they're probably going to be mortified that I'm showing this on camera. But yeah, it was a mom and her 2 daughters and us, and they watch us together every week, which I think is great. Although the youngest one doesn't so much as knit as convince other people to knit for her, which made me think of Laura. So they were hilarious. I really enjoy talking with them. And it's always fun to talk with people because I feel like I always learn something really cool, or it's always nice to be able to say, oh yeah, I met someone from there, or, you know, I saw you last year. How are you doing? What have you found this year? You know,
Hiker was there, and a bunch of awesome. If we would list everyone, it would be forever.
Yeah.
But so many cool people, and it's so nice catching up. And thank y'all for being so patient. I know sometimes you have to wait quite a while to see us.
Yeah, I would say if you're ever at an event and you're waiting to talk to us, just kind of barge in, because I don't always know you're there or that you're there for me. I just assume you're waiting on someone else. So,
and I just holler at Leslie all the time.
Yeah, she does. She uses her teacher voice. But sometimes it's the only way you can get attention, so.
Anyway.
Don't reward negative behavior.
My negative behavior is rewarded all the time.
All right, so it is now almost 7 here. We started at 5. So, I think we're going to wrap this up. Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
I don't think so. I'll see y'all in less than we'll see you in a month, but I'll talk to you
next week.
And I'll talk to you on air next week.
Yeah.
And we'll have lots of things, and Stash Dash will be officially started.
Yes.
And we need all the caffeine, and this was a terrible time of the year to give up soda. So, whatever.
Not even touching that. So, y'all have a wonderful week, and we will see you again next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.